And still on similar developments about basically discussing the alleged police brutality before and after the EndSARS protest, we have joining us in the legal studio a veteran journalist, Godwin Etakibuebu. Good to have you join us, sir. Well, let me start by asking how accurate your assertion is that the police force was not provided in the very instance by Nigerians, but by foreigners.
Thanks for having me. Thank you very much for having me. But what's the question, please? Push it across again.
Okay, I'm asking you your assertion. We're talking about the EndSARS brutality and all of that. And you have written a material where you say that the police force was not even provided for us by Nigerians, but by foreigners. Tell us about that.
Okay, yes, thank you very much. Once again, thank you for having me. The Nigeria police force given to us in 1861 was not provided by Nigeria entity because Nigeria was not in existence then. Those who came here, traders, who cornered this part of the world, the British, they needed to exert authority on tax collection. And the cooperation was not there within the indigenous of this area, which we now call Lagos. And of course, they saw the difficulty of exerting that authority. Then in 1861, around April 1861, Stanhope Freeman, who was administering the West Africa zone, wrote a letter to the Home Office seeking for authority to recruit 30 men. And the letter specifically stated that those 30 men shall be trained like soldiers. And the letter stated plainly to brutalize and bring into submission the people of this zone. The 30 men that will be recruited from the zone, meaning they will be recruited, they will be trained in format of soldiers to brutalize their own brothers and sisters, to bring them to submission so that the issue of collection of taxes and other levies will be made possible. And this letter was written and the authority was granted. And the 30 men were recruited from within this eco zone. And they were called Consular Constabulary. And they trained them in the format of soldiers according to the demand. And when they were certified that the training they got was good enough for the people recruited from the zone to brutalize their own brothers and sisters and bring them to submission, they unleashed them into two actions in Ekpe zone of Lagos State. 156 years after the first outing of that 30-man Consular Constabulary, if you can follow me to Ekpe, I will still show you evidences of brutalities, of human wickedness upon human. So this is how the police of Nigeria came to be. It was not formed by Nigeria indigenes. It was formed to brutalize. It was formed to kill. It was formed to bring into submission their brothers and their sisters. And that was 156 years ago. And this is the truth about it. In 1863, another letter was written saying that the people performed, that is the 30-man gang, performed creditably. And they gave evidences of Ekpe as evidence that, oh, they performed well. So they now demanded for increase by 70 additional people to make them 100. And this increase was granted immediately. Then there was a slope down to the city of what I would call absurdity, which nobody can explain. The additional 70 were not recruited from this zone of Lagos. Those to recruit them travel far into the hinterland, into the area you will call northern Nigeria of today. And they brought the 70 from there. And immediately they arrived in Lagos, it is here they were to train them. But the name immediately changed from Consular Constabulary to Hausa Constabulary. Why that changed and what form that changed will be a story for another day. But maybe I've answered your question for now.
Indeed, interesting historical perspective there. Now, I would like us to reflect on current realities now. Do you think Nigeria is ripe for a decentralized police system, or what people will call police reform? There's been a lot of hues and cries over that, and the implication for states nationwide.
Nigeria, as it was called from 1914, given by Flora Shaw, who later became wife of Lord Lugard after he lost his marriage in Tagayaka before coming to Nigeria, to this zone, deserved a decent police force. But let me put it on record first before I go into the extension of your question. Every state or every country has a different format of forming its own police force. The first police force for Nigeria is what I've just told you. That is the historical foundation, and that's the fact. If you go to UK, United Kingdom, the police was not formed because somebody wanted to take tasks and somebody was to be trained to do this. No. The police was formed through which method? The method was that elderly people in their homes were looking. If they saw a stranger coming, a woman they never identified to be around, they called some people that there must be a stranger among us. So what is happening? Let us look. It made tracing of crime very, very easy. It was this line that the police in the United Kingdom was formed. Again, the formation of that will be a story for another day. But today, do we deserve a friendly police, a police that they can say, really your friend? Yes. That is what normal society would have created for their people from origin. But we miss it for the analysis I just given. Now, how do we get there? For example, 156 years after giving us a police that will brutalize us, kill us, and subdue us, what do we have in SARS that brought the recent acrimony, so to say? We had a SARS that was formed in 1984 when Major General Muhammad Buhari was head of state, military head of state. He called the Inspector General of Police then, Etim Okon Inyang, and told Inyang that what do we do? Hard crime was escalating. Etim Inyang came back to his office that day. Then he put himself together and he decided to form a specialized trained unit to pursue hard crime. And the person that came to his mind easily was the man called Fulani Kwajafa. The good thing is that Fulani Kwajafa is still alive today. So he told Fulani Kwajafa what they wanted. And why Fulani Kwajafa? Fulani Kwajafa was an erudite investigator, a meticulous investigator, though ruthless, very, very ruthless as an investigator. They had two of them then at Alagbo Clues in the investigation department. Another one is C.T. Duon, who is now late, who was gassed with, who was killed with chemical in his office as Assistant Inspector General of Police some years back at Force Headquarters. Then he put him, and they asked him to pick. So they pick. Fulani Kwajafa picked 11 SPOs, that is superior senior police officer. Among them, about 6 of them are now late, but the remaining ones are very, very elderly. I spoke with about 2 of them very, very recently, that they should put, so the unit was put together to pursue crime. The purpose of it was not to kill people and to make it a den of killers. But the fact remains that today, or on the 8th of October 2020, when End SARS campaign started, we had SARS that were killing people at random. When the police was formed, it was formed to brutalize and to kill people. So there is a nucleus that the one that was given to us in 1861 is the one that is still operating. So what do we do? What do we do? If we want a good police force, therefore, we must go back to the basic. We must go back to the foundation. And there are many things that need to be reformed. And until this is done, you will not have that people-oriented police, but you shall be having people-killer police squad. So they must go back to the... In reforming the police, it's only not the system of the police, the recruitment system only. No, the recruitment system is important. The administrative system is important. The comfort system is important. The psychological system is important. And what's the qualification of the people you put there will be very, very important. At what level should a policeman be seen as carrying gun? It is equally very, very important. So if the totality of these are put together and worked out, then we shall have it. Unfortunately, not that we have too much time today. Otherwise, there are things that needed to be laid out and some facts needed to be reviewed so that the reformation will be total and we bring a police-oriented, people-oriented police force into being. But I'm glad that there is a bill that has just been passed and the president has just signed it that reformed the police. That has no answer to the people-oriented police force. Maybe another day we shall talk about that.
And Mr. Etakibuebu, how ironic will it be that the Special Anti-Robbery Squad of the Nigeria Police Force was actually created in 1984 when President Buhari was the military head of state, and now we're talking about reforms, he is the president as well?
Well, he might be helpful, but let me establish one fact here today. I want to place it on record. The military in any country of the world is not the best for police reformation and for police oriented, people police oriented. I will tell you this, because there is an acrimony that began. In 1861, when the police force was formed, the Nigerian army had not come into being. So the police force was senior. Then the Nigerian army came, and the Nigerian army found itself into government, forcefully into government by seizure. And something happened in 1983, after the election of second tenure of Shehu Shagari. Now, people went rioting, saying that their votes did not count. Sunday Adewusi was just appointed Inspector General of Police. He took over from Suleiman. Sunday Adewusi really wanted to do his best. He was a seasoned police officer. I worked with him. He was a seasoned police officer. He wanted. Then there was great riot in Osogbo. Then Sunday Adewusi gave a command, shoot at sight, that almost cost some officers, including a Timoko Miyang, including Salami, who was an assistant commissioner of police there, almost their jobs. That order given, Sunday Adewusi prepared for it. Because the first thing Sunday Adewusi convinced the president to do was to equip the police so that in election that will become, if the people want to riot, the police can quell it. And don't forget, the MOPO, which we call Mobile Police Force, which is called MOPO or Kilago, was formed in 1963. The first 30 men were equally trained from Malaysia to do what? To counter rioting. So in preparation for Sunday Adewusi anticipation of what election might bring, the police was equipped. APC, armored personnel carrier, was not really the military armored personnel carrier, but this is a vehicle that looked like armored personnel carrier that have facility for both chilled water and hot water to disperse either protesters or rioters or what you have, were purchased. Then Rover's car were purchased for police, not for police top officers. They were purchased for the lower level so that they could pursue armed robbers that were using Peugeot 504 then, SR. And those SR were moving on the vehicle. This was the purpose. But when the chief of staff, annual conference head in Jos, in 1983, November 1983, ordered the command because Major General Muhammadu Buhari was then the GOC of the third, of that div. What was the complaint they brought? The officers that gathered there, they now brought complaint that the military, the police have been more equipped than them, and they now brought rovers, thinking that they were for commissioners. No, they now say they even purchased APC. The coup that eventually came on the 9th, Sunday, of 1983, December 31st, was for that.
All right, we could go on and on. It's been a very interesting, historical perspective regarding the formation of the police in Nigeria and relating to what the challenges we're having now. Godwin Etakibuebu, the guru, as we know him in the media, it's good to have you with us.